Hello and welcome to my Italian Grand Prix driver predictions for the final race in this triple header weekend. And today I have absolutely gone extremely bold. Go bold or go home. This is the series in which you guys, the audience, can get involved. By following the link that is in the top line of the description, you'll be asked a set of 3 questions to get involved in the Audience Prediction Championships. What exactly those questions are, we will go over in just a little moment's time. So without further ado, we will jump on into my Italian Grand Prix predictions for qualifying, a bold statement for the whole race, and then the race also. So how exactly does this series work? By following that link in the top line of the description, you'll be asked for your top 5 for qualifying on Saturday. That is for the sprint race results, not the Friday qualifying, the traditional qualifying. The top 5 for the sprint race. You'll then be asked for your top 5 for the race on Sunday, and then one bold encompassing statement throughout the entire weekend. Now this can relate to literally any portion of the Grand Prix weekend that you like. It can be that someone will crash in FP1, it will be that someone gets through to Q3 or knocked out in Q1, or it can be something happening in the sprint race or even the race on Sunday. That is entirely up to you. You can make it as vague as possible or you can make it as specific as possible. That is all you're doing. Now, of course, there is a small little point scoring system for this. You'll be awarded 2 points for a correct driver in the correct position inside your top 5 for qualifying, and 1 point for a correct driver but in the incorrect position within your top 5. Exactly the same scoring is then done for the race top 5, and then for the bold statement, if it is remotely accurate, you will receive 5 bonus points for a possible score of 25 points for the whole weekend. Where I believe the highest score that an audience member has achieved in this tournament is 21 out of 25. So they've come uber close to 25 out of 25, but no one has yet achieved it. Could you be the first for the Italian GP weekend? So let's just take a quick look at the current leaderboard that we have at the moment. It is Evan Darcy still leading the way on 174, 13 points clear of Joe Bisho, who is 10 points clear of Danielle B. And then you have to scroll a little bit further down to find myself on 140 points for this whole season so far. There are then a few other entrants that are above 100, like Mattia Bonotto, Matej, Gary Slaughter and Gemma Gibson. And then scrolling down for leaderboard number 1, we enter the second half of the entrants as well. We have people like Kevin, Alita M, AB Baby, Vim Z25, Jif A, Pablo as well. And then of course there is a second leaderboard to all of this for the people that have only entered into 1 or even 2 events so far this year. We have people like Ratchet, Harry Scott, Dan Claver, Josh H, Rubber Duck, WR, Sam Mollock, Andrew Lee, and then in the second half of the leaderboard we have people like Amelia Swan, Channel Infinity, Tibor, Mufasa, Alexa and Benny33. Now, to make it fair to those people who have not entered into every single round, as this summates all of the points gathered throughout this whole season, as myself and a couple other people like Evan Darcy as well have entered into all 12 rounds so far. To make it fair, I've got an average points leaderboard, so the average score for the rounds that you have entered so far. However, that leaderboard will be displayed on a video that comes out on Sunday or Monday, depending on when I can actually get it completed. And if you see yourself high up in that leaderboard, then you know you are an exceptionally good predictor. And just quickly before we actually jump on into my predictions, you can make as many submissions as you like by following that link in the top line of the description up until the start of the sprint race. So if you want to be like me and make them all before the practice sessions start on Thursday, then by all means do that. But if you want to wait all the way up until the end of the FP2 session just before the sprint race starts, then do that also. So without further ado, let us jump on into my predictions, and we start with my qualifying top 5. For pole position after the sprint race, I have gone for Lewis Hamilton. I feel that he is going to get his own back on Max Verstappen for the sprint race that happened in Silverstone, with P2 being Valtteri Bottas. I feel that the straight line speed of the Mercedes and the power of the Mercedes that we have seen at a couple of the tracks so far this year is going to really aid them a lot. With P3 being Max Verstappen, these top 3 in race pace trim, especially in the first 20 laps, is just leaps and bounds faster than anybody else, especially in the Dutch GP. If you want to check out a description of all of that, then please check out my race data analysis for the Dutch Grand Prix. But in P4 for the sprint race, I have gone for Lando Norris. That McLaren is going to be really strong, and he may even get into the top 3, but I don't quite think he will, so I've put in P4 with P5 home hero Charles Leclerc. Fully aware that he's not actually the home hero, but he's the Ferrari home hero, as he is Monegasque, not Italian. But with my qualifying top 5 all done and dusted, we will now jump on in to my race top 5. Now this is where I've gone ridiculously bold. Go bold or go home. I've gone for a Lando Norris victory, a McLaren victory in Monza, with Lewis Hamilton in P2, Charles Leclerc in P3, Valtteri Bottas in P4, and then Max Verstappen in P5. Now this looks like a completely and utterly random order for the top 5, but I feel like there is going to be some justification for this, as I feel there could be some little incidents at the front with the Mercedes and the Red Bull, like we have seen so far this season. And if Lando Norris is going to get a good start and a good qualifying especially, he is 100% going to take advantage of that, and then having the Mercedes power in the back of his McLaren is going to make him a force to be reckoned with, and I think he could genuinely, legitimately take his first Grand Prix victory this weekend. Now, lots of people said I was completely and utterly crazy to write off Max Verstappen for a DNF in Baku when I made that on Thursday on the Baku Grand Prix weekend, and then come Sunday he did DNF. So the last time I was ridiculously bold, it did actually come true. So here's hoping it does once again. As for why I've put Max Verstappen P5, I feel he's going to be involved in an incident. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to pan out, but I'm sort of expecting him to drop really far down the order and then climb up. And then P5 is going to be the maximum that he can achieve, which is why Leclerc manages to get on the podium and beat Valtteri Bottas, with Norris taking full advantage, much like Ocon did in Hungary. Which leads me on quite nicely into my bold statement for this weekend, that a Mercedes or Red Bull won't win the Italian Grand Prix. So this just sort of opens me up just a little bit for my Lando Norris victory. So any team, it could be Ferrari, it could be Alpine again, who knows, or hell, it could even be Aston Martin. That'd be awesome, but very unlikely, I think. Yeah, a Mercedes or a Red Bull will not win the Italian Grand Prix. And so there are my absolutely ridiculously bold predictions for the Italian Grand Prix. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think. Are they too bold, or is it going to be spot on? Who knows? And then also please do follow that link in the top line of the description to get your predictions submitted right up until the start of the sprint race. That is when I will no longer be accepting the submissions for this contest. But that is all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next episode with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.